In the land of ancient Israel, a tale of courage and faith was about to unfold. The air was thick with tension as two armies faced each other across a valley. On one side stood the mighty Philistines, their ranks swelling with pride and confidence. On the other, the Israelites trembled, their hearts filled with fear. For 40 days, a challenge had echoed through the hills, a challenge that would change the course of history. The Philistine camp bustled with activity, warriors sharpening their swords and polishing their armor. But all eyes were drawn to one figure, a giant of a man who towered above the rest. This was Goliath, the champion of the Philistines, a warrior so fierce that his very presence struck terror into the hearts of his enemies. His armor gleamed in the sun, his spear as thick as a weaver's beam. Each morning, he would stride to the edge of the valley, his voice booming across the battlefield. "Why do you come out and line up for battle?" he would taunt. "Am I not a Philistine? And are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." The Israelites, led by King Saul, huddled in their camp, their spirits dampened by Goliath's daily challenge. No one dared to face the giant, for who could stand against such a formidable foe? The king's brow furrowed with worry, for he knew that the fate of his people hung in the balance. Meanwhile, in the quiet hills of Bethlehem, a young shepherd boy named David tended his flock. He was the youngest of 8 brothers, 3 of whom had joined Saul's army. As David watched over his sheep, he often sang psalms and practiced his sling, unaware that he was being prepared for a greater purpose. One day, Jesse, David's father, called him from the fields. "Take this grain and these loaves of bread to your brothers at the camp," he instructed. "See how they are and bring back some assurance from them." David's heart leaped with excitement at the chance to visit the battlefield. As he approached the Israelite camp, David heard Goliath's thunderous challenge. The soldiers around him cowered, but David's eyes blazed with indignation. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God?" he asked. His words reached the ears of King Saul, who summoned the young shepherd to his tent. David stood before the king, his frame slight, but his voice steady. "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine," he declared. "Your servant will go and fight him." Saul looked at the boy in disbelief. "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David was undeterred. He recounted how he had protected his flock from lions and bears, striking them down when they attacked. "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine," he assured the king. Reluctantly, Saul agreed. He offered David his own armor, but the young shepherd found it too cumbersome. Instead, he chose 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream and approached the battlefield with only his staff and his sling. Goliath laughed when he saw David. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" he roared. "Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." But David's reply rang out clear and true. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." As Goliath charged forward, David ran to meet him. With a swift motion, he loaded his sling and let fly a stone. It struck the giant on the forehead, sinking deep into his skull. Goliath fell face down on the ground, and David, using the Philistine's own sword, cut off his head. The Philistine army, seeing their champion fallen, turned and fled. The Israelites, emboldened by David's victory, pursued them with renewed courage. As the dust settled on the battlefield, a new hero had emerged. Not a mighty warrior, but a humble shepherd boy who trusted in God. David's triumph over Goliath became a symbol of hope and faith for generations to come. It showed that with courage, skill, and unwavering trust in a higher power, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. The young shepherd would go on to become king, but it was this moment, standing victorious over the giant, that would forever define his legacy.